Hey, what's up, everyone? It's only me, it's Dave. Welcome. It's really nice to have you along. It's Thursday and it's 2:30, right? I'm feeling pretty chilled out today, as you can probably see. I'm drinking my herbal tea. And I've earned the space to breathe here in Leicester. Again, this is my third week on the trot here. And I've shut the blinds because it's nice and sunny out there. So, it can't be bad, right? It can't be bad. So if you're joining for the first time, a wholehearted welcome. Thank you for coming along. It's always nice to teach new people. And if you are joining me for, the 169th time, probably not. But if you've joined my classes before, then welcome back. Welcome back. What I thought we'd do today is I thought we would look at some breath work. So a little bit less moving than we'd normally do, but look at kind of harboring the power of our breath. Now, what I think we'll do is we will look at some different types of breath, and we'll probably look at, 4 or 5, something like that. And within those breath practices, well, in between them, what we'll do is we'll move a little bit. So I'll make sure that you're not too uncomfortable or you're not getting kind of like bored. You won't get bored because breath work isn't boring, but I know that some of you guys like to move as well. So we'll do a little bit of moving as well. We'll make it physical, but not too physical. And then we'll look at this these breath practices. So we call it pranayama in yoga, and there's lots of different breath practices. Breath work is very popular at the moment. And there's some different types of breath work which people teach. These are more on the side of it being very calming. Some of them are, I would say, more activating and kind of like releasing, whereas these ones are more about calming the central nervous system, calming your mind. So you might be familiar with some of them. I will have done some of them before, but probably not looked at them in as much detail all in one go. But the power of the breath, right? Harnessing the true power of your breath, that's there for us all the time, right? And sometimes we want a quick fix in life, but unfortunately, quick fixes, they don't generally work, right? So if we can get into a practice of, be it yoga and breath, pranayama, then that can be, really, really powerful. So this is what we'll try and bring together. And no, the breath is always there for us. So it's not as if like we have to go outside and access it. We don't have to buy it. We don't need any special clothing for the breath or anything like that. We can just get into it here and now. So when you feel stressed and overwhelmed, you feel anxious, you feel down, even depressed, the breath can really help. I'm not saying it's going to cure all of your problems because nothing does, right? That's that kind of personal wellness journey that you are on, or you will kind of pick for yourself. Maybe it's a cold shower, or maybe it's yoga, or maybe it's going for a run, or meeting up and walking with a friend in nature, or having a coffee with someone. These are all different things. Going to the gym, there's so much stuff you can do, but you don't have to do all of it, right? In fact, if you did all of it, it'd drive you insane and you wouldn't have time for it. And then that would probably just be another thing that you anchored your brain onto, and it wouldn't be very good for you at all. So what you do is you find things that work for you. I know for me, breath work's really important for me, like looking at my breath. And when I'm a little bit too, wired and I feel a little bit off center and off balance, breath work can really bring me back into myself in this beautiful way. But I like yoga as well. I like to move my body, but I don't like too much where it's physical. Like, I don't like really physical yoga. I like restorative yoga and yin yoga, and I like to move a little bit, but I like going running. That's my kind of cardio. It's not yoga. I don't do yoga for weight loss or anything like that. In fact, you've heard me talk before that yoga's probably not even exercise, right? And then people go, well, what is it then? Well, what's it not? It's everything. It encompasses a philosophy. It encompasses life. And breath is a really big part of that, okay? So that's what we'll look at a little bit today. And you might, as I say, you might be familiar with a lot of it, okay? So you can do stuff sat in a chair. You can do stuff with your back against the wall. You can even do some of it lying on your back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come forwards and backwards towards the camera, not all the time because that would be really odd, right? But I'm going to go back onto my mat and we'll move a little bit, and then we'll come into our first breath, which will be alternate nostril breathing, which you've probably done with me loads of times before. Shall we read what it says on my tea bag? It says, understand life is a pure living experience. Ooh, I like that one. All right. So bring anything with you back onto your mat. I am going to just adjust the camera a little bit. It's beautiful, isn't it? And if you want to sit on something, feel free. You might want to have your sit bones slightly on the floor here. Now you can do some of this stuff sat in a chair or on a stool, but if you're joining me down on the floor, then lean back into your hands and just drop your knees to either side. Just bring this nice little movement in. You will have heard me talk about the clock here, and I was talking about it 2 weeks ago, how we've restored it and we've got it working, and it's cost thousands of pounds. But it's really important that we care for this building and we care for the history of Leicester. So we've got this clock working. And then one of our great friends is called Marco Gecchi. He's Italian, and he helped us set Space to Breathe up, and he's an academic, and he works at Northumbria University. And he actually found an archive recording, bring your legs set across. He actually found an archive recording which was of the one guy who was an apprentice of Gents of Leicester, which was a massive clockmaker. And they put clocks into lots of institutions, hospitals, government, train stations. And his first job he did when he was 16 years old was build those hands over there, the hands that we took off and we put back on, and we got the mechanism all working. He built those hands. That was his first job. And we found that recording the other day in this archive from Leicester University. It was like, brought tears to our eyes. It was amazing. So there's a little bit of clock information. All right, bring your hand onto your knees. Let's do some yoga. Inhale the chest forward, exhale round your spine. Just get into a nice steady rhythm. If you feel when you're in this pose and then you feel like your back is quite tight, then, do this. Just sit up really tall and just draw tiny little circles. But see if you can bring your awareness to your navel. That's where the movement is. That's where it's kind of been driven, the movement. I can even take my hands off my knees and I'm still going to kind of circle my hips. I'm going to circle my torso around my hips. Think about how your lower spine feels. And you might make it a little bit quicker. You don't have to. We're not trying to get to a point where we're moving quickly. Now, if it feels good, maybe close the eyes. Or just keep your gaze soft. And you might even begin to work with your breath here. So this is kind of a little bit more informal, the way we use our breath. Inhale as you come forward, then exhale as you come back here. Beautiful. If you haven't already, inhale, come back to center, and then swap your legs out. So bring your legs out. Maybe just drop them to either side just a couple of times. Then bring your other shin in front. See if you can remember which shin it was. And then bring your hands back onto your knees. And then just begin to circle in the opposite direction. You'll probably have done this pose with me in the past. It's a really nice way to kind of free the spine up. Begin to kind of work into the breath. Breathe super deep. Stay nice and relaxed through the jaw, through the face. Take an inhale, come all the way back to center. And then take a full exhale. Beautiful. Then inhale, bring the arms all the way up. And then from here, we're just going to do a little side bend. So with the right hand, hold on to the left wrist. Take an inhale to find length. And then exhale, just a little bend over towards the right. So you feel this stretch down the left-hand side. Inhale back to center. Swap the hands out. Hold the right wrist to the left hand. Exhale over to the left. Nice. Inhale back to center. Swap. Exhale right. Move with the breath. Inhale to center. Swap the hands. And then gentle pull over to the left. On your own breath. Always inhale up. Always exhale to the side. Inhale, find length. Exhale into your bend. A couple more times on either side. Remember, it's not about depth. It's just about movement and just working out what you've got going on today. Inhale, exhale, inhale back to center. Then relax the hands all the way down. Kind of bring them down slowly. Lovely. And then bring the fingertips down into the earth. Nice. Release your legs if you're sat the same as me. If you're on a chair or with your back against the wall, you might just have a little wriggle around just so you're not too uncomfortable. And then just move a little bit through your head. So we'll do it this way. We'll drop our chin down, soften the gaze and close the eyes as you do that. And then maybe just rock the chin from side to side. Little exploratory movements here, nothing too much. And that idea of just noticing what you're noticing. You know, you don't have to think about this too much. Now, if everything feels okay, there's not too much tension, maybe you pick a direction and you can draw a complete circle. And again, think about the breath, maybe inhaling up, maybe exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. This can feel really good, it can feel really releasing. And notice any areas of tension and then just swap it out, come back the other way. If anything here, it's caution. Moving very gently. A couple more complete rotations. Then inhale, come all the way back to center. As you exhale, just drop your chin down towards your collarbone. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Really lovely. All right, so if you want to adjust, if you want to sit in a different way, go for it. Now, if you want to bring your legs out like I'm doing, then you can do that as well. And then I'm just going to come a little closer towards the camera. I'll probably bring my trusty blanket with me, because I don't want to get uncomfortable, right? Thank you all you guys for saying hi. How are you doing, Alan? Nice to have you along, mate. And Irene's here. Always Irene, right? I think Jackie's here as well. Let me just have a little check. Yeah, how you doing, Jackie? All right. Okay, so come sitting up tall. Have the legs crossed or have the legs out. You know, you can always sit like this if this is more comfortable, or you can sit like this. It's probably a little harder to breathe into, but, you know, whatever feels good. And then we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. This is called Nadi Shodhana. Nadi Shodhana. Now, what this breath does, it's calming and it's balancing. So when we think about it, just very quickly, left side of the brain, left nostril, it's very calming. So we think about the parasympathetic nervous system. So this is kind of like when we rest, we digest and we calm everything down. We probably spend too much time in this right side, which is activating, is sympathetic. This is kind of, you know, when we're fight and flight. And, you know, this is the stuff where the adrenaline's pumping. And we need that sometimes. We even need it just for daily activities. Our daily lives, but we probably spend way too much time in this right side when we're working, and we're busy, we're stressed. So when we use this breath, then what it does, it harnesses the power of the breath and balances everything out. As I say, you probably have done it with me plenty of times before. You'll need your right hand, the left hand can stay down. You can use your left hand if you want, but I'm right-handed, so you might use your left hand. It doesn't really matter, seriously. I always use right, but use whatever hand feels good for you. You're going to use your thumb, and then I use my little finger or my ring finger, or you can even bring those fingers together, so you can have the two fingers together. And what you do is you block one nostril off and then you swap it. Some people tuck the other fingers in, so you've then got this mudra or hand position. So this is kind of the way that we move. I generally have my fingers out, so I just find it a little bit more comfortable. So sit nice and tall. It sounds complicated, breathing alternately, but it's nice and simple, this is. Now, you might close the eyes, and if you do, really soft focus here. Very soft. If you focus too hard, you'll give yourself a headache. You don't even have to focus at that point, so your choice. From here, block off the right nostril with your thumb, and then take a deep inhale through your left nostril. Very gently here, for the first time, just block off the left nostril with the ring finger or little finger, or those two fingers together, and then exhale through your right. Make sure you're sitting tall, loads of room to breathe into. Inhale through the right, and then gently close off the right with the thumb. Exhale through the left. Inhale through your left. Lungs are full. Swap it out. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Block off right with the thumb. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close it off with a ring finger or little finger. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Close it off with the thumb. Exhale left. Let's do one more round. Inhaling through the left. Close off left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And then close off the right. Exhale through the left. Beautiful. And then bring the right hand down and the left hand, whatever was lifted. Beautiful work, everyone. And then just breathe through both nostrils. Maybe the eyes remain closed and just check in with your practice. Notice what you're noticing. Maybe you feel a little bit different. Beautiful, really nice, fantastic. Feel free to move just a little bit if you want to. Maybe bring the legs out and again, just move a little bit. Bring your other shin in front. So that's alternate nostril breathing. Now I'd recommend that, do like 5 minutes of that, or even 3 minutes, or even like, I don't know, 3 rounds or something like, just see what it does. For me, it's very calming breath. But then we can harness the power of the nostrils as well by using nostrils differently. So we'll do one which is very calming, and then we'll activate the energy because we're going to go and stand in a moment. So if you feel very stressed, you feel kind of like you need to ground yourself, you can do this one. So really simple. Block off the right nostril with your thumb, and then inhale through your left nostril. And then exhale through your left nostril. Inhale left. Exhale left. 2 more like that. Inhaling left. Exhale left. Final round. Inhale through your left. Exhale through your left. And then you can bring your hand down and just take a couple of balancing breaths just to let everything settle. Beautiful. So that's left nostril breathing, right? Very, very calming. Now, if you need more energy, this is subtle, you'll do the opposite thing. You bring your hand back up, I'll use my little finger, and then block off your left nostril. Inhale through your right. Exhale through your right. Inhale right. Exhale right. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale. Full exhale. And then bring that right hand or the left hand down, whichever one you were using. And if anything, our nostrils then become a little bit more open. A lot of the time we're like chronic mouth breathers, so we breathe through the mouth. And when we're breathing through the mouth, we don't get as much nutrients and kind of oxygen into the body. So kind of learning to breathe through our nostrils again. Sometimes we can't do that. Sometimes we lose the ability to do it. But when we kind of breathe through the nostrils, then it can be really freeing, because then we're kind of opening the cavities of the nostrils up. So physically, it's very good for us as well. All right, we're going to come and stand. So if you want to join me standing, feel free to do that. And then we're just going to move the body just a little bit. So from your mat, if you're using a yoga mat, go for it. I can stand in the sun here. And then bring your feet about hip width apart. Just have a little jiggle around, a little move, maybe a little bend into the knees. Kind of free your body up. And then we're going to do a nice twisting movement here. So feet about hip width apart, a little flex in the knees so you don't strain your back. Put your right hand on your heart, inhale, left arm to the left, and then exhale, right arm to the right. So that's your movement. So it's an inhale, it's an exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you don't have to make this super vigorous. You can kind of just make it your own. You might like let the arms be a little looser. You might really lift the arms and kind of look down opposite arms to the fingertips. We've done a little bit of work through the neck, so just notice if that's something that feels good for you. We're just shaking the energy up a little bit here. We're just kind of moving a little in between postures. Twisting the torso, keeping the hips nice and still. Just notice how this feels. Won't be here for long, another 10 seconds or so. Maybe let the arms drop all the way down. Maybe the backs of the hands just kind of tap onto the glutes. Beautiful. Really, really nice work. And then from here, come back to center. Bring the palms so they're face forward. Take an inhale, sweep the arms all the way back up. And then again, just clasp the hands. So you're going to use the right hand, you're going to hold onto your left wrist. Inhale to find length. Exhale to the right. Inhale to find length. Swap the hands. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Right hand holds the left wrist. Exhale to the right. One more time. Inhale to center. Left hand holds right wrist. Exhale to the left. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, comb the arms all the way back down. Nice. Give the shoulders a little shrug. Maybe roll them a few times one way, kind of a few times the other. Kind of release any tension here. Maybe one shoulder at a time. Beautiful. And then we'll come back to seated. So come and sit again, any way that feels good for you. And I've got a little list of breath practices that we can do here. Let's do this one. Let's do humming bee breath, which is a really good one. It's called Brahmani Pranayama. And we're going to hum like a bee, which sounds really weird, right? And especially if you've got someone in your house and they're not practicing yoga with you, they'll be like, what are they doing? Now, there's something about the sounds that can be very, very calming. So I'm going to do another breath after this. But there's something about sounds and vibration that can really calm the central nervous system. It works wonderfully for some people, which is why you see sometimes, in yoga, people chant, and like from the outside, people are like, why is this weird chanting? Why are they chanting like that? Again, there's something about noise, sound. It's a very healing property. And when we kind of bring these kind of basic sounds in, sometimes called the Bij mantra, it's like a bee, brr, it's that kind of sound, then that can be very calming for us. Which is why, like thousands of years ago, people used to dance and drum and move, and kind of the drum was the main instrument, and people would move to the rhythms, right? And it's very healing. When you go and dance, if you do dance, or if you still dance, if you don't dance, go dancing, because it can really free you up. And there's something about the energy and the movement that can do that. So this one, what we'll do is it's a little bit different. So you're going to use your thumbs, and you're going to bring your thumbs onto your earlobes. So you press very gently your earlobes in, and that's going to block off most of the sound, right? So don't do that yet, because I'm still talking. And then the first two fingers, you're just going to cover your eyes, okay? If that feels okay. And then the breath is going to be just like this. It's going to be... So you kind of bring the lips together. There's a little vibration in my lips. So try that before you do that. Let's do that together. So take a nice deep inhale. Bring your lips together. A little bit of a vibration, but it's just a humming sound. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, but we'll block the ears off, and then when you block the ears very gently, it's right in your head, right? So you feel the vibration, you've got the noise, and you probably won't hear me, and I'm going to have a different breath rhythm to you anyway, but we'll go for a few rounds. When you've run out of breath, don't strain, take an inhale, and then we'll start again. And then I'll stop doing what I'm doing, and then we'll all catch up, and then we'll sit and we'll wonder if it was weird or whether it felt good. Okay, so this is humming bee breath. So it says here in my little booklet, it says, Let me just have a quick look. It says soothing breath connects you to your emotional well-being. So soothing, right? We're always looking for things to soothe us. Let's not look for a glass of wine. Let's look for hummingbee breath, right? Okay, so thumbs over the ears. And then if it feels safe, close the eyes and then just bring a little connection of the first two fingers on your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And then start humming. Without straining, you come to the end, you take an inhale, and then just start again. If you can still hear me, I'm going to do one more round. So a nice deep inhale. And then you can release the hands down very gently. Bring the hands so the palms are face up. And then just check in with your practice. Notice what you're noticing here. Maybe you still feel a little hum or a buzz. You still feel that little vibration within the head. And then if your eyes are closed, just come with your eyes open. Grab a little drink if you need to, and maybe check in and notice how that felt for you. For me, it's a really good one. I don't do it very often, I must admit. But in a lot of ways, it gets me into my head when I want to get there, if you know what I mean. I know a lot of the time people are thinking, we need to get out of our heads. But that's not strictly true, right? When we meditate, we're not trying to meditate on nothing. We're just paying attention. So the brain is usually quite busy. But what that does, it knocks out all the external stimulus for me and it makes it very internal. And there's something about the vibration there that kind of brings a lot of awareness in. So I feel quite connected to myself, deeply connected to myself. All right, move if you want. We're going to do another one before we do a little bit more movement on our mats. So this one is, let me just think, what's the best one to do? So this one is, this is called physiological, is it psychological or philosophical? I can't remember. I think it's called psychological psi. I mean, it's not like a full-on pranayama. It's something which I've been practicing and I heard on a podcast, which is amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the teeth this time. Okay, so we're going to inhale through our nose and then we're going to exhale through the teeth. So let's just concentrate on the exhale first of all. So the exhale, the teeth are going to be together and you're going to make this shh sound. So it's going to be shh. So that's going to be the exhale. Looks odd, right? Like a Cheshire cat. But again, there's something about the vibration, there's something about the noise. So I've had it described to me where it's kind of like, imagine all of the pressure in your body and all of the pressure is just being released like a tire deflating. Now the inhale is a little bit different. So what we're going to do, we're going to inhale in 2 sniffs through the nose. The first one's quite long, then we take a little break and then we do a much sharper sniff. So I'll show you one complete round. So you inhale through the nose. You pause the breath, squeeze the belly in, and then you do a much sharper, shorter sniff. Okay, so let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. Lungs are nearly full, and then sniff again. Lungs are full. Kind of seal the energy without straining, and then bring your teeth together. All right, got it. Let's do another one. Inhale through your nose. Pause the breath, and then that sharp sniff. Teeth together, exhale through the teeth. Inhale. Pause the breath. Inhale again. Exhale through the teeth. One more time. Inhale. Pause the breath. Sharp inhale. Exhale through the teeth. And then again, just come back to a nice steady rhythm of breath. See how you're feeling. For me, I feel like I have this heightened level of presence, like a clarity now. And I've got that by just from breathing, right? I haven't got it by, doing anything external. This is all internal stuff that I'm working on. And hopefully it's pretty calming, right? And it's available. That one feels great. I love that one. Beautiful. If your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. And then we'll come back onto our mats. If you're probably still there, but I need to go back onto my mat. And we'll come onto all fours. I'll do a couple of things on all fours, and then we'll come back and we'll do one more breath practice. Spend a little bit of time with Shavasana today, and then, we'll be done. All right, so set yourself up in all fours. Spread out through the fingers. Notice how it feels. Take an inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head, lift your heart. Exhale, round your spine. And then just move through a few rounds of cat-cow, just to kind of free the body up. Because I realise, I've done a lot of asanas movement today. It's mainly been breath work. So to kind of express yourself, maybe you kind of draw circles with your hips from side to side. That feels good. Inhale, come back to center. Then as you exhale, just fall back into a child's pose. Remember, you can always bring something underneath the body here. And then just fall back into a child's pose. Bring the sit bones back towards the heels. Remember, you can always stack your head on your hands. You can be here. This can feel really nice. And we'll just spend a few more rounds of breath. So this is a perfect breath practice, right? The back is nice and broad. You've got loads of room to breathe into. So after all of the breath work we've done, all the pranayama we've done today, maybe you notice this a little more, how you're breathing. You're aware of your breath. And then when you're ready, walk your hands back towards your knees and then just come all the way back up. Beautiful work. And then I'm going to come back to seated. So this final bit, this final breath work, if you want to do this again on a chair, back against a wall, feel free to do that. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll do a tiny little bit of breath of fire. And then we might do one more on our backs, actually, because I think we've got time. So breath of fire, very, very activating breath. It's not for everyone. So you might want to just check this one out. What we do here is we breathe in and out through the nose, but quite rapidly, okay? So you might have done it with me before. Now, the thing to remember here is the exhale is very powerful. So I always like to describe it as like you've got a fly stuck up your nose and you're like, I need to get rid of that. So So it's that movement, okay? So it's quite powerful. No, you don't have to really force it. And then the inhale is very passive. So even though I was breathing through my nose predominantly there, the inhales are coming in, they're bouncing in. So a rhythm will look something like this. So exhale, inhale. So exhale through your nose, inhale through your nose. So the belly pumps in, the belly pumps out. So it's like this. And if you bring your hand onto your navel, you'll feel the belly pump in and out. As I say, the inhale, I'm not even thinking about it. The exhale, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm like, force the air out, force the air out, force the air out. Belly pumps in, belly pumps out. So let's just do a few rounds together. But this one's quite activating. It's got a name. It's called skull shining breath. Okay. So yeah, it's a really powerful breath. So bring the hand onto the navel just so you get that rhythm. And then take a deep inhale to begin. And then force the exhale out, and then the inhale will come in quite naturally. Take a deep inhale. Take a full exhale. And then bring the hands, so both of them are palms face up. And then just check in with your experience. For me, I kind of really feel it here. I feel it on my forehead. It's quite powerful. And that's why it's not for everyone. But when you feel quite low of energy, this is a brilliant breath to come to. And you only have to do like 2 minutes and it will really change the way you feel. Nice. And then if your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. It's called Kapalabhati breathing. Kapalabhati breathing. It's amazing. One of my favorites. And I use it a lot in the morning. You know, for me in the mornings, thinking about my wellness, I need to get outside. I need to go for a walk. I need to get some light. I sometimes go for a run. But I need to kind of connect with my breath as well. And that's a really good way to kind of wake up, sit down. Before you do anything, a little bit of breath work, alternate nostril breathing or something like that one I've just done. It's really good. Breath of fire. I highly recommend it. We're going to do a little bit of 3-part breath, but we're going to do it on our backs. So we're going to remain here for the rest of the class. We're just coming into the final few minutes. So when you come down on your back, feel free to hug your knees in towards your belly, just to kind of align everything. Have a little rock around from side to side. And then it's your choice here. You can bring the soles of the feet on the floor. I'm probably going to stay there today. Or you can have your legs long. So you can have your legs long. In fact, it felt better when my legs went long. So feel free to place a blanket underneath your body, anything that feels good. And we're just going to work for a little bit of 3-part breath. We'll only do like 3 or 4 rounds, but let's just work on it. So bring your hands onto your belly, and just so there's that soft touch on your belly. And then what we're going to do, we're going to breathe into the lungs in 3 stages. So you want to fill the lungs a third, then another third, then another third, and then the lungs are full, and we'll exhale in one long exhale through the nose. So in and out through the nose. So I'm going to ask you to move your hands up and down your body. When you're ready, inhale into your belly, third. Little pause, slide the hand onto your ribs, inhale another third. Feel your ribs expand, pause the breath. Slide the hand onto your sternum, and then inhale into your chest. And then as you exhale, let the breath go. Slide the hand all the way down, so the back onto your belly. Inhale for a third into your belly. Pause the breath, slide the hands wide onto the ribs. Inhale a third. Slide the hands onto your chest. Inhale, final third. Exhale, let it go. Slide the hands all the way back down. Let all the breath go out. So we know where we're going to go. I'll do a little bit less talking. So inhale, belly. Inhale, ribs. Inhale, chest. Exhale, let the breath go. Inhale belly. Inhale ribs. Inhale chest. Exhale, let the breath go. One more round. Inhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Inhale. Let the breath go. And then bring the hands so the palms are face up. Come into your final resting posture and try and find as much stillness as you can. And then from here, when you're ready, really gently and slowly bring a little bit of movement into your body, maybe your fingers and your toes, ankles, and wrists. And then feel free to give yourself a good stretch out. Maybe stretch the arms into the air. Let the arms fall behind the head. Have a good stretch. Maybe a yawn. Ooh, it comes into the body quite naturally. You might hug the knees in one final time. Roll over to one side, whatever side feels better for you. Take a breath or two here. And then when you're ready, come all the way back to the seated position, where we spent a lot of the class today. Really beautiful work, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in with the pranayama, the breath work today. Hopefully some of it is useful and you can take some of it away with you. Just to remind you, we did alternate nostril breathing, we did humming bee breath, we did breath of fire, and then we've just done 3-part breath at the end. So there's lots and lots of information on the internet with all those breaths. So feel free to have a little dig around. Bring the hands to your heart. Thank yourself for showing up today, and with a wholehearted bow, wish yourself well and wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's really lovely to be with you today, and whatever you're doing for the next few days. Hope it's a good one. Have a great bank holiday. I'll see you all next week, and I'll probably be right here. And yeah, we'll probably look at something different. That's the beauty of yoga, right? There's always something different that we can look at. Thank you, everyone. Look after yourselves. Love you.